I broke up with my long-distance girlfriend because I felt emotionally exhausted trying to cope with her trauma. I still love her, but I'm not sure if I made the right decision. I'm 27 and she's 25. We were in a long-distance relationship. She is genuinely a very good person, loving, compassionate, and she gave me many beautiful moments. I still love her. However, she also had a lot of unresolved trauma, and over time it began to affect every aspect of our relationship. I found myself constantly trying to manage her emotional reactions, calm situations down, and support her whenever something triggered her. Many of the things that hurt me were followed by statements like, "I didn't mean it that way," or "I had no bad intentions." I do believe that, but intention doesn't erase impact. I tried not to take things personally, but that's incredibly difficult to do while in a relationship. Over time, I started to feel like I was living with a time bomb. Even during the good moments, I was always expecting something to go wrong. I became very careful about what I said and did, trying to avoid triggering her, even over small or seemingly harmless things. But there were always new things I wasn't aware of, and minor issues often escalated into bigger conflicts. When I tried to explain myself, it was often perceived as invalidating her or as if I were trying to win an argument rather than understand her. Over time, this wore me down. The good moments were no longer enough to balance out the emotional weight of everything else. Despite loving her, I reached a point where I no longer wanted to be in the relationship. In the end, I ended the relationship honestly. I told her that I couldn't continue and that I wasn't able to provide the emotional support she needed. When she blocked me, I felt a sense of relief. Later, when she reached out to me from a different account, I told her this as well. That led to more accusations. She said things like, "What about everything I gave you? And I was trying to change for you." I know she was trying, but that didn't change how the situation affected me. A week later, I checked her profile and realized that, in her narrative, I had become the villain, someone who had done something terrible, simply for being honest. From her perspective, she had given everything, was small and vulnerable, and I was someone who took everything without giving anything in return. That hurt, especially since I still have kind things to say about her. Now I find myself asking, did I give up too soon? Should I have been more patient and understanding? Or was it still a valid decision to walk away, even though I still love her?
From a therapeutic perspective, I see this situation not as a simple matter of right or wrong, but as a relationship dynamic shaped by both individuals' emotional capacities, boundaries, and needs. What you've described points to a pattern that is quite common, particularly in terms of emotional labor imbalance, trigger management, and cycles of miscommunication. From your side, I observe that while trying to cope with your partner's unresolved trauma, you gradually found yourself in the role of a regulator within the relationship. In therapy, this is often referred to as unconsciously taking on an emotional regulator role. While this may seem helpful in the short term, over time it tends to distance a person from their own needs and can lead to emotional exhaustion. The feeling you described, living with a time bomb, suggests a state of constant hypervigilance, which is essentially a chronic stress response. This transforms the relationship experience from a supportive, romantic connection into something emotionally taxing. Looking at your strengths, your honesty, your awareness of your limits, and your ability to express them are all very healthy. Many people continue in such dynamics far beyond their capacity and end up more deeply depleted. In your case, you recognized your limits and acknowledged that you could not sustain the emotional load required. From a therapeutic standpoint, this reflects self-awareness and boundary-setting ability. At the same time, during the relationship, your efforts to accommodate your partner's triggers may have unintentionally shifted the balance of the dynamic. In such cases, one person becomes the primary supporter, while the other becomes the primary recipient of emotional regulation. Over time, this can reduce the sense of equality in the relationship and create a dependent pattern. Additionally, if boundaries are not clearly established early on and consistently maintained, the situation can become progressively more difficult to manage. From your partner's perspective, unresolved trauma understandably contributed to emotional triggers within the relationship. However, attributing responsibility for those reactions entirely to the partner, or dismissing the impact by emphasizing intent, "I didn't mean it," can make healthy communication difficult. In therapy, the goal in such cases is for the individual to recognize their triggers. If both individuals engage in self-awareness and put in consistent effort, the relationship could potentially be rebuilt on a healthier foundation. This would require your partner to work on understanding and managing their triggers, ideally through individual therapeutic work, while you maintain clear boundaries and provide support without taking on a caregiving role. In this case, the relationship could become more balanced and sustainable. If the effort remains one-sided where only you continue adapting and accommodating, this would likely lead to continued emotional exhaustion. In such a scenario, the relationship's continuation would come at the cost of your own well-being. If your partner resists change and continues to externalize responsibility for their triggers, the relationship is likely to remain stuck in the same cycle. In that case, your decision to step away can be seen as a protective and appropriate choice from a therapeutic standpoint. After a breakup, there are also different possible outcomes. The experience may serve as a catalyst for personal growth for both individuals. It may help each person better understand their own needs and boundaries. However, this does not necessarily lead to reconciliation. Sometimes, separation becomes the process through which clarity and growth emerge. Ultimately, it is important to understand that a healthy relationship is not sustained by love alone. Alongside love, it requires emotional compatibility, shared responsibility, and balanced boundaries. In your situation, ending the relationship appears less like giving up and more like recognizing that the dynamic was not sustainable. For your emotional well-being, from a therapeutic perspective, making a decision that aligns with your limits and capacity is often the most appropriate and healthy course of action. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments.